Whoa, hey bud. Move along. Today I'm playing as a character from my favorite movie of all time. Any guesses before I show you? You better lock him in. Okay. Whoa, is that the Iron Giant from the beloved kids movie, The Iron Giant? Yes. Anyway, I think he looks pretty cool. But because I'm playing as the Iron Giant today, I thought it was fitting that I make a goal to find iron. Because right now I only have 4. I've already been here. So, oh man, I completely forgot where my base was. I have a feeling it was this way. A sneaky suspicion. Hello, pig. Yep. Nice. It's a lot of pigs. What's that noise? Oh, he saw me kill his brother. Got him. Okay, guys, I found my base. Except I don't remember if I actually had like a base set up or anything. I'm gonna start a little base here. I don't like that. Hello. Okay, now I've got a chest. I can put stuff in here. Oh, what am I doing? Let me put my armor back on. I do like seeing what I look like. But, I also like being protected. But I'm the Iron Giant wearing copper armor. That's not okay. Let me go to bed. What? You can only sleep at night. Do you see that? It's not that dark, I guess. There we go. I need to go find iron for this iron boy. I'm gonna start by getting this coal, because I can't resist, even though there's a 1. Whoops, that is not a forward button. Alright, let's talk about the Iron Giant for a second. I actually just wrote a paper on it for one of my classes. And let me just say, I hate writing. I think it's so boring and dumb and annoying. No, that's not true. I think writing is important. A good skill to learn, to have. I just don't enjoy it. But writing this essay about the Iron Giant was actually pretty fun. I guess writing about stuff you like is fun. I don't know. But yeah, so if you haven't seen the Iron Giant, let me give you a quick rundown. Basically, it's based off a book called The Iron Giant. I've never read it. Um, but from what I've read about it, the book is kind of different from the movie because in the book, the giant comes to Earth. He's like destroying stuff. And then this kid named Hogarth befriends him. And it's like, hey, stop destroying stuff. And he's like, okay. And then he helps save Earth from a dragon. That is not what happens in the movie. In the movie, it starts out kind of similar. The giant comes to Earth, crash lands on Earth, but he doesn't remember who he is or what he's doing there. He has no clue. And Hogarth, the kid's name is still Hogarth, which I've never met anyone in my life named Hogarth. Crazy name. Anyway, so Hogarth becomes friends with the giant, and this is where the movie takes a little different turn from the book, as far as I know. Because, let me pretty much just tell you what I wrote about in my essay. Basically, I said The Iron Giant is not a movie about a robot. Why do I think this? Let's go swimming and find out. The reason I think The Iron Giant's not about a robot, even though it's named The Iron Giant, and he's a pretty big character in it, is because for the majority of the movie, you're following Hogarth, the boy, not the giant. Anytime you do see the giant, it's usually with Hogarth or other people are around. So because of that, I kind of said in my paper that the giant himself, he's not the main character. Instead, he's the channel through which we learn the lesson of the movie. That's the whole point of the giant, is to teach us not to be a cool little character. I mean, it is cool, but that's not the point as much as teaching us a lesson. And even though it's a kids movie, it gets pretty deep, honestly. Some of the specific scenes that I wrote about to kind of point that out, how deep it gets. So the giant has no idea why he's on Earth. He can't remember anything. There's like a bump on his head, and it kind of just implies that he's got like amnesia or something, memory loss, I don't know. And so when Hogarth meets the giant, he has to like teach him how to talk and everything. Teaches him how to speak English, very basic English, but somehow the giant already understands, which I didn't really understand why the giant would, but you know, part of the story, part of the plot. Anyway, as the events of the movie go on, people in the town are like thinking that some weird thing is going on because everything that's metal is getting eaten, right? So they call the government and they're like, hey, you know, something weird's going on here. Come check it out. And the government's like, let's send our most bozo agent named, what's his name? Kent Mansley, I think. Yeah, he's kind of really stupid. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips or something. I don't know. He's not. Oh, let me make a new one real quick. Anyway, back to the movie. I forgot a little plot point that's kind of important, I feel like. Yo, I did not mean to do that. Okay. So the way that Hogarth meets the giant is he's at home by himself because his mom's a single mom. I don't know. It doesn't really explain why, if like the dad, like if they got divorced or if he died. Doesn't go into that. But she's a single mom working at a diner, cafe place. Also, it takes place in like 1950s Maine. So there's a lot of people scared of like the Cold War going on. That's an important part of the plot. So Hogarth is at home watching a movie, and then the TV goes out. So he goes outside up onto the roof to see what's wrong with the antenna, and it looks like something ate it. And so, because he's been hearing the rumors about the metal eating monster, he goes to look for it with his little BB gun, you know, gonna save the day. So he goes, tracks down the giant, finds it at, oh, you're kidding. He tracks the giant to a power plant. While they're at the power plant, the giant starts eating it and then gets electrocuted, obviously, and then falls back onto some power lines and starts screaming. When Hogarth gets scared, he's like starting to run away. But then he hears the giant screaming and he's like, oh, I gotta help him. So he runs over, shuts off the power plant. There's like a huge shut off switch. Saves the giant, right? The giant remembers this. So then later, when Hogarth sees the giant again, giant recognizes him and like shows him the shut off switch. They become friends. Okay, cool. We're caught up. Oh, is that iron? Let's go. Nice. As I was saying, I feel like the Iron Giant, obviously it's a kids movie, but I feel like it's not necessarily a kids movie, right? Because I mean, kids movies can handle deeper topics, and a lot of good ones do. But to me, the Iron Giant feels more like a, I don't know, a grown-up movie that's easy to understand if you're a kid. But it's like the topics in it get pretty deep, I feel like. It talks about death and like what happens after we die a little bit. But the main part of the movie is it really kind of talks about what it means to be a good person and choosing between right and wrong, right? Realizing that morality exists and everybody has agency to choose. Kind of deep, I would say. I just want to fight in cave, man. Oh, speak of the devil. I said that last video. Not funny. So yeah, it starts to handle these deeper topics, which I think this is really cool, actually. So the director of the movie is Brad Bird. which, if you don't recognize his name, he directed The Incredibles and what else? Ratatouille. Some pretty good movies, right? When he was figuring out the movie, what he wanted it to be about, he said that, well, okay, from what I learned, kind of his inspiration for the movie came about because his sister died um, from gun violence from her own husband, which is pretty crazy, really sad. Um, and because of that, Brad Bird said that, oh, yikes. He started to have the question, what if a gun had a soul and didn't want to be a gun? And so that was kind of the basis of the storyline for the movie. And you start to see that partway through the movie. Hogarth takes the giant to his home, hides him in the barn, and then he goes out after dinner to show the giant some comic books. Oh gosh. I'm gonna make a bucket so we can pour water down there. So Hogarth is showing the giant these comics, right? And he pulls out a Superman comic and he's like, oh, this is Superman. He's a lot like you know? Crash landed on Earth, didn't know what he was doing, but he only uses powers for good, only to help people. And the giant was like, oh, that's cool, you know? But the giant noticed another comic book behind the Superman one of a robot that was like destroying a city called Atomo. And he looked at it and Hogarth was like, oh, that's Atomo. He's bad. He's evil. He's not like you. You're good. And so the giant's like, oh, okay, I'm good. But then later on, the giant sees a deer die. He gets shot by a gun. And the giant's kind of sad about that. He doesn't understand the concept of death really, but he realizes something bad happened. And so Hogarth kind of teaches him like, oh, the deer died. He got shot by a gun. Guns are bad. But this part of the movie is kind of interesting because you see the giant's eyes start to go red. And you're like, oh, what's that about? Is he evil? You know? Kind of sketchy. Oh, I'm kind of scared to go down here. I can already see a creeper. Am I even going to find iron? I need to light up this place real quick. Oh gosh, I can already see monsters. I don't know if iron typically generates this deep. A lot of gold. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh! Yikes. That was some expert maneuvering on my part. Good job, Michael. When the giant sees the deer die, he's upset about it. Upset because he kind of finds out that death is a thing. Right? Which is pretty crazy for a kids movie, actually. Because, like, I mean, people die in kids movies. That's not anything new. But to actually address it and be like, hey, what is death? Because later, Hogarth is talking to the giant about it, trying to make him feel better. And the giant... Well, because Hogarth tells the giant, like, it's bad to kill, but it's not bad to die. And the giant's like, do you die? And he's like, well, yeah, someday. And the giant's like, do I die? And Hogarth is like, I don't know. Because you're made of metal, but you have thoughts and feelings, and that means you have a soul. Which is really cool for a kid's movie. Got him. Here I am talking about how impactful death is, and I'm just killing zombies. Where'd the iron go? There it is. But yeah, Hogarth is like, you have thoughts and feelings and everything. That means you have a soul. And the giant's like, what's a soul, you know? And so Hogarth tells him, my mom says it's something good inside of, or something inside of every good thing. And that it goes on forever and ever. Yo, there's no way. Oh gosh. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Run over here. Other side of the lava. I'm scared. Oh, there's iron. Are they still chasing me? Okay. Yeah, so he says A soul is something inside of every good thing. Diamonds! Okay, good place. And that it goes on forever and ever. And the giant likes this. He likes that idea. No, that's my timer! I'm not done yet. 10 more minutes, Mom! So yeah, then the giant learns about death and existence and the possibility of an afterlife. Pretty crazy for a kid's movie. But then later on, Hogarth and the giant are playing around, having fun, you know. And Hogarth has like a little toy gun, and he points it at the giant. Well, because he tells the giant, he calls him a Tomo. Right, because they're playing a game. Good guys and bad guys. But yeah, so he points it at the giant, and he's like, "You're a Tomo." And the giant's like, "I'm not a Tomo, I'm Superman." And then Hogarth points the gun at him, and the giant's eyes start to turn red again. And then he starts shooting lasers out of his eyes, and almost hits Hogarth. And then, realizes what happened, gets scared, tries to run away. Hogarth is like, "It's okay, he's my friend, he just got scared or something, I don't know." Yikes, that took forever. Right, but he's like, the giant just got scared, he's a good person. Their friend Dean, who owns a scrapyard that the giant has been staying at, is like, "No, he's a gun." Giant runs away, terrified of who he is. And then Dean realizes that he's just acting defensively towards the gun. He didn't actually mean to hurt Hogarth. I'm not going to go into all the details. Basically, the government finds the giant, tries to kill him, shoot him and everything. The giant is like, "I don't want to be bad. I'm not going to turn into a gun." So he stops himself from turning into a gun and protects Hogarth. And then while he's running away with Hogarth trying to protect him, they fall off a cliff. The giant learns he can fly, which is pretty cool. How many iron do I have? 3, 4, 3, 6. Okay, not that much. But I found diamonds, so I think that's a good place to end. What was I saying? Yes. Giant learns he can fly. Flies around like Superman, and then gets shot down by a missile from the government. And when they land on the ground, he thinks that Hogarth is dead because he's lying there motionless in the snow. Hogarth is not dead, but the giant doesn't realize that. So he gets angry and then turns into a gun, basically, and starts attacking the government. Hogarth wakes up and realizes what's going on, and so he goes to stop the giant. And the giant's just been like on a rampage, destroying stuff, shooting everything. It doesn't show him kill anyone because, it's a kid's movie and he's the good guy. But in real life, he definitely would have killed people. And so the government's freaking out. Dean is trying to convince them that the giant's good. He just reacts defensively. The general is starting to listen to Dean. Kent Mansley doesn't like that because he's stupid. So he tries to convince the general, "No, we need to kill the giant now. He's a threat. He's going to kill everybody." So they get a nuclear bomb ready, targeted on the giant. And the giant obviously is still going around shooting everyone. Hogarth runs up to the giant and yells at him to stop shooting everyone. And the giant he's a gun right now. He's like basically mindless. But Hogarth yells at him to stop, catches the giant's attention, and then the giant looks at Hogarth and starts to point his gun at him. And Hogarth is like, "Wait, no, it's me, remember? Dang, there's a lot of diamonds. Do you remember who Hogarth is? Your best friend?" And so he's trying to like make the giant remember. But basically, he sits there and he tells the giant something. He tells him, "You don't have to be a gun. You are who you choose to be. So choose." And the giant's looking at him, still pointing the gun, and he starts to like fire up the gun, right? Getting it ready. It's like some laser gun thing. And Hogarth just stands there bracing to get shot. just waiting there, and he's like, "You choose." And then the giant realizes, and he's like, "Hogarth, oh gosh, I heard something. I think that's all the diamonds." Oh, yo, he's got a sword. What the heck? Got him. Didn't even drop the sword. But yeah, so the giant realizes what's been happening, regains consciousness, I guess. And he realizes that he almost killed Hogarth again. But he made this final decision to be good. He stopped destroying stuff, went back to normal. Do I sound like I'm wheezing? Am I too close to the microphone? So the giant turns back to normal. He's good again. Not a gun. But I think it's so cool because it's like, what if a gun had a soul and didn't want to be a gun? And then it shows that through the giant. But then at the very end, spoilers for if you haven't seen it, they almost, iron. They've almost got the general convinced. They pretty much do have him convinced that the giant is good, that he's not going to hurt them. But Kent Mansley doesn't like that. He wants to kill the giant. He's like, if I can kill this thing, the government will think I'm incredible. That's all he cares about. And so he takes the radio from the general and yells, "Fire the missile." So they fire the nuclear bomb that they have ready to kill the giant. But the giant is right next to them, and it's targeted to the giant, which means they're all gonna die. Hogarth tells the giant this, and the giant's like, "I can fix this." And so he goes, and he's like, "I'm gonna fix it." And Hogarth is like, "Wait, no, you're gonna die." And the giant's like, "I go, you stay. No following." And then he blasts off into the air. And just remember, this is after he's learned about the concept of death and everything, right? He learned that he probably will die. And he doesn't know for sure if there's life after this. But he knows that he can save the people, because that's what a good person would do. And so he goes up into the air and intercepts the missile and blows up. Very sad. Yo. Okay, no. I'm gonna die. Yo. Oh gosh. Huh. Okay. That's it. I'm done. Woo. That was scary. This is a hardcore world. I almost lost it all. Jeez. Anyway, yeah, so the giant sacrifices himself to save all the people in the town. And I just think that's super cool, because here he is. In the past couple days, he's forgotten everything about who he is or where he came from. He learned that he has a soul, and that he can die, and that he can choose to do good things. And it all just culminates into this moment where he sacrifices his own life to save a bunch of people that don't even really know him. Why does he do it? I mean, obviously to save Hogarth and his family. But also because, no, not you again. Jeez, get out of the water, dude. Oh, that was a good shot. Dang, dude. Yo, I need to make a shield to kill this guy. How do you block with the shield? Do you just have to crouch? I think so. Oh, where did he go? He's gone. Okay. But yeah, anyway, I really like that movie. I think it's super good, The giant learns what death is. He learns that he has the capacity to be good, even if he doesn't look like he's supposed to be, right? Because he looks like a gun. He looks like a monster. But he has agency. He can choose what he wants to be. And I think it's such a cool way to answer that question of what if a gun didn't want to be gunned? Good job, Brad Bird. Anyway, yeah, so I wrote a whole paper on it, basically just telling you what the lesson of the movie is and trying to kind of get you to be like, oh, I should watch this movie. You know, the way I wrote about it in my paper is a lot more put together, better sounding than me explaining it. But, it's all good. All right, so we did not get very much iron, and I used a lot of it. But we got diamonds. That's good. Gonna put those in there. We didn't meet my goal of finding enough iron for iron armor. That's okay. We can do it next time. Um, but yeah, that's the Iron Giant. It's a super good movie. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it tonight or tomorrow or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care as long as you watch it. And I think you're gonna be surprised by how deep it is, especially for a kids movie. All right. Bye.